We're rolling. Oh my goodness. This is nice. All right, so we're in Raft Cove Provincial Park. I'm here with 3 other buddies of mine, and we are camping this weekend. We are, Raft Cove, which is on like the north end of Vancouver Island on the west coast. So we're deep. We're out here this weekend. It's about we kicked off from Nanaimo or Lanceville area, and then on early Friday morning we had a 5-hour drive up the island, and then probably like another hour and a half or so in a logging road that brings you to the west coast end of the island, or west coast side of the island, and then parked, and then we had probably about an hour and a half, maybe hour and 20 minutes or so hike in to this spot. So yeah, it's pretty far out here. It's pretty wild, but man, it is beautiful. It's honestly incredible up here. I knew about this place because my brother and my sister had recently camped up here fairly recently with their kids, and I'd always wanted to come to the north end of the island, and so yeah, it's been on the wish list. And then, me and some guy friends, usually every summer, kind of around this time or sometimes a little bit later, we try to do an annual camping trip and always pick a different spot. And this year the idea was to come to the north end of the island, so we made it happen. We're down one friend who could not make it. He had a surgery that got scheduled kind of right around this time, so he had to bow out. But Ali, we miss you. We wish you were here with us, and it's not the same without you, but appreciate you lending the car to get us here still, and we'll plan another one soon. So with me is you guys aren't going to know who they are, but the names are Valerian, Alex, and Max. 2 of them I went to film school with about more than a decade ago. And the other one, Val, has been a long-time friend even before I went to film school, kind of in high school era. So these are, long-time friends here. And it's cool that we have all found the time to get together this August long weekend and just get into nature and spend some time together. So anyways, I could probably babble about this intro forever, but I did write a few notes. Just want to talk a bit about this trip and dig into it a little bit. My friend Max has lent me a sheet of paper from his notebook. So and also, man, I gotta say, this weather has turned out incredible. I think we were expecting pretty much just overcast the whole time, and it was mostly until the first day and a half or so. But now today is our full last day here. It's Sunday. We leave tomorrow, Monday, and it's like a lot of blue sky, and the sun is just out right now. So pretty incredible. Very grateful for the weather we've had. So I guess point number 1 was just kind of talking about where we are and what we're doing. So the where we are part, and obviously what we're doing is we're just camping. We're just taking it easy. We're relaxing. Someone's in the hammock right now. Someone's making their 5th pot of coffee. Usually at any given point, someone's out for a long walk along the beach to go explore something different. There's been no shortage of things to do, which I'll talk about in a second too as part of the story time. We're out here. There's no reception as well, so there's no phones. My phone died 2 days ago, so it's a strange reset, and just different than the usual, I guess. So that's kind of the point. Spend time together as friends, connect without devices and technology, and you just catch a breather and do something different again. That's kind of where we are and what we're doing. I'll mention, I just want to give some shout outs of gratitude / shout out. I'm super grateful for a few things. Obviously, the biggest one for me is just grateful for Lisa, for my wife. She is home right now with our 10-month-old and our dog, and so she is working really hard, and hopefully Meyer is sleeping good so that she can also sleep good. But she kind of makes something like this possible, and obviously we plan a long time in advance so that we are ready for things like this when I go away for a few days. And it's not a very common occurrence, but really appreciate her kind of stepping up and and leading and managing the households while I'm away for a few days. So yeah, it's not possible without her helping and committing to this weekend too. So, you know, love you lots, Lisa, and really appreciate that you've given me this opportunity and this time to come do something like this, which is pretty special. And I am so excited to see you again on Monday and Meyer, and I can't, just the thought of the image of Meyer belly laughing and smiling is just like constantly on my mind, and I can't wait to hear and see that again, and also just to catch up with you and hear how the weekend went and stuff. So very grateful for you. Appreciate that I can do things like this because you help me and you support me in that way. Another thing I'm grateful for is just 3 days with friends. You know, it's rare that you get to spend even sometimes an evening or a dinner with a group of friends, just because everyone's so busy and we all have lives and tons of things to do and tons of friends to keep in touch with and up to date with and stuff. So, you know, it's really quite rare that you get 3 days with 3 solid days with a group of people. So I'm very grateful for having that time and for that we could all kind of make our schedules align and make this work. I think that's pretty cool. And then I'm also grateful for just where we are right now, which is just it's a complete disconnect from technology. I think I mentioned that a few times already, but just no reception. I forgot to turn my phone off, so it's been dead for 2 days basically, and it's a strange feeling, but also it's liberating. It's nice to not you know, have to worry about a device and just you literally can just there's room to be bored and to do nothing or just to sit in the hammock and stare at the ocean for a while. Like, these are just things you're just not going to do very often. So I'm grateful to have that disconnect right now and from technology, and just to have this pattern interrupt. That's a term that I like, that I've heard a few times, of just like, you know, getting out of the norm and just completely interrupting what's normal to you and doing something completely different, which is, it just makes you rethink things and gives you the space to think and plan and breathe and recoup and let the mind kind of rest a little bit too. So, or just be used in a different way. So yeah, those are kind of the, you know, 3 things that I'm really grateful for right now that I wanted to mention. I'll do a couple of stories from this trip so far. You know, if anything, this is just more fun for me to have in the future, to be able to watch this back and remember some of these stories. But I mean, story number 1 would just be the hike in to this place, which is, you know, probably about an hour for, if you don't have a crazy huge pack and you're moving at a decent pace, like, you know, probably an hour or less. I think we took about an hour and a half, so it's still not that bad, but we brought in so much stuff. We all had massive packs on our back. And then I kind of also pushed the group to bring a propane fire pit, because you're not allowed real fires right now with the fire ban in effect. And so, you know, no one thought it was possible, but literally we brought, like a nice propane fire pit with like the rocks in it and the full deal, and then obviously a full propane tank as well. So lugging that in over like what this trail looked like was just like huge muddy pits, like things you got to climb up on. Like, it's not an easy, you know, gravel trail or like a trail with like, you know, wood bridges to walk on and stuff. Like, there's barely any of that. So it's very rugged. So man, we had some good laughs just coming in on the trail, trying to bring all the stupid stuff that we brought. The stupidest one being the propane fire pit and the propane tank. Like, yeah, we all took turns carrying it, but man, it was an absolute send. And we were all just like beat by the time we got here. But that's what made it fun. It was like a really good activity to like just really like use some energy. And then we got to the camp, obviously, and we were like tired and just ready to sit by the fire and hang out and have some wine and have a really good meal as well. So yeah, it was awesome. The hike in was a battle. I think I have some footage, so I'll probably roll some of that here too. But we did it. We got here. We got all of our stuff, and having the fire has been so nice in the evenings. The next thing would be I'm gonna call Max out. He got he didn't screw his like, you know, you have these camping stoves, and there's the little propane like nozzle you put on the top of the propane tanks to kind of control the gas coming out. It gives you a burner, and then you can put a pot on it. He didn't screw it on tight enough, and so he had propane spitting out the sides, not just out of the controlled air, but out of the sides. where the nozzle connects, and there was fire coming basically straight out of the propane. So yeah, that was pretty shady, and trying to put that out, throwing sand on it and picking it up while it was on fire. And a propane tank that's on fire, not a great thing. So yeah, it was a little chaotic there for a minute, and we had some panic moments, but we got it out pretty quickly, and Max threw some sand on it and dealt with it. But we all had a pretty good laugh about that after the vibe settled. The last thing would be, so obviously you're here for 3 days, you can only bring so much water in. And so the water that, there's a water source basically. So we're on this beach, and if you kind of walk down that way, there's a river, and the river is connected to the ocean, obviously. And so the river kind of, as the tide goes in and out, because we're so close to the ocean, the river also goes in and out, and it becomes deeper at points, and it becomes shallower depending on time of day and the tide. But anyways, you have to cross the river to be able to get to like a hose, like a water source basically that comes out of a natural river over there. And that's how you can refill your water here. You still want to treat it obviously with some sort of sanitization or a pill or something like that. But anyways, we yesterday had the mission and the journey to go across the river to find this water source. And that was just a really fun mission to have while here. It's kind of like we were planning how to use our day, and it's like, okay, you're gonna start the morning with some frisbee, gonna have some breakfast and coffee, and then we're gonna cross the river and find this water source. And it's just it made for a really fun objective, and we nailed it. We all crossed the river, it went great, and we found the water source, and then we swam back with that water, and yeah, it was awesome. And we have to do that again shortly here to go get more water for our last day. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Maybe I'll try to get some footage of it this time happening. It was pretty funny. It was awesome. I guess the last thing that I'll mention here too is just the importance. I kind of realized the importance of planning stuff like this. So I was at the center of planning this one, I would say. Usually it's more of a shared effort between me and my friend Ali, I would say, but he's the one that's not here this weekend because he's having surgery. But yeah, I kind of took it on myself to plan this one and to put it out to the friends, see who's available, who can come, and lock down some of the details and the ferry reso and scheduling and all that jazz. And I'm not always that person. In fact, I'm probably usually not that person to be the one that actually leads the planning of something like this. So, and my wife will attest to, I'm not a great planner. I'm a great doer, and just throw me into the situation and I'll do it. But planning ahead, not always my strongest suite of skills. So I guess I'm just proud to have taken on the planning of it, and I'm really glad that I did, because these things are hard to make happen last minute, and rarely do they work last minute, especially with a group of adults, and we all have lots of things going on, as I've mentioned. So unless you plan kind of pretty far in advance and you get everyone bought into it, and you keep that group chat active, and people don't forget about this, what we have going on and stuff, these things that won't always happen. And so unless you plan these things in advance and you make you schedule them into the busy lives that we have, it's just so easy for these things not to happen. So I'm realizing just to try to plan ahead more, Daniel. Try to plan fun, exciting, great things in life that ultimately are going to be the things that create the best memories and the best things to talk about in the future. Because of course this is going to be a core memory for us, and we'll remember that summer that we came up here at the end of August, and we got this beautiful weather and went for some cold dips and had to cross that river, and we brought a propane fire tank in, etc., etc., etc. Obviously lots of good stories, right? So this stuff doesn't happen unless you make the time to plan and pack it into your schedule. Jesse Itzler says something about this specifically, and it stuck out to me, of so much of life is already planned for you, because you have work, you have sleeping, you have cooking, you have bathroom time, you have all these things that actually take up a large portion of your calendar. So unless you go out of way to plan blocks of time like this away from those normal things, then it doesn't really happen. So yeah, realizing the importance of just making time to do stuff like this, to plan it in advance, whether that's you or your friends doing it, someone has to make it happen so that Oh, I thought I just heard something in the bush. We're in grizzly and bear and cougar territory, so can't be too careful. So yeah, at the end of the day, the message, make fun plans, rally your friends, be the organizer, be the instigator, be the guy that comes up with ideas, and make those things happen. And I think that you live a richer life when you do those things, even when they're hard and they, it's another thing to plan and schedule and do, but it's always worth it in the end to make it happen and put the energy into doing it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go and honestly, it's kind of hot in the sun now. I feel like I gotta lose this shirt and maybe go for a little dip, or maybe it's time to cross the river. I'm not sure. I'm gonna catch up with the friends, see what's going on. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I shot something up here. I mean, I don't think I'll ever have a better backdrop in one of my videos than this one here. So yeah, I'm happy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.